여러분! 안녕하세요! Hello everyone! So for today's episode, I'm going to talk about COVID-19. And for today, we have a special guest. I would like you all to welcome my very handsome husband! Okay, husband, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
So my name is Joris, I'm 29 and I work in Korea for 3 years now, and I arrived in Korea 3 years ago as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I have here with me the questions from our families and friends about COVID-19, and our first question is from Hans Kevin.
I think maybe the application you're talking about is only when you're in quarantine. So there is this app which simply works using your GPS. So they ask you to turn on your GPS all the time. If you turn it off, they will probably come to you and check where you are. And the other thing is the national alert message system, which basically just approximate where you are based on which phone antenna you're currently connected. If you're moving around the city, then you will receive message about the area you're currently in.
Every day we receive this emergency alert. It's in Korean, 3 to 5 times a day to, remind people about the current situation of the COVID-19 and which places to avoid. So next question is from Harry Domins.
Basically, our life here didn't change much because the government handled it pretty well. Only at the beginning, when the outbreak started, people were a bit in kind of panic and this kind of stuff, but people keep going to work and doing activities, maybe less group activities, but they still do the same thing as before. So in Korea there is not such a big impact, I say.
Well, for me, it didn't really change because I'm unemployed, so most of the time I stay at home. But then I'm also an honorary reporter for Korea.net, where I write articles about Korea in general, so it was difficult for me to go out and take pictures and to travel around Korea because of the virus. So basically, even if we don't have a lockdown, we still need to stay at home for the safety of ourselves and for the other people. So we have another question from Angel.
Not all the places actually closed. Mostly the schools and government control things, I think, were closed. Some entertainment places, they were not obligated to close, I think. A lot of them closed, but they opened maybe after 1 or 2 months. There are some places where you cannot go, even though they are open wide outside, but you can go to the swimming pool or you can go to nightclub. So it's a bit difficult to know which place are open or not.
Yes, it's very confusing actually. For example, the nightclubs and the bars, before it was open, but then after the case in Itaewon, the government shut down all the bars. So it's a bit difficult to say. And with regards to the public events, everything is just cancelled.
All the major events are cancelled, but even the small ones actually. So they try to limit the public gathering as much as possible. Culturally speaking, right now it's not great to come in Korea.
And okay, so our next question is from Jenny Kim. Well, first is I have to wear a mask everywhere I go. Every time I go out. I cannot usually go to the small markets here, so I just order online and they just deliver it in our house. Nothing, pretty much. I think that's it. Our lives here are still the same after or before the COVID-19?
I mean, there's a lot of countries who implemented remote working and this kind of thing. In Korea, that's not something that really happened. Well, at least not in my company, but only like really big companies like Samsung, LG, and this kind of really big corporation. Otherwise, only if your building has some confirmed case or your company has some confirmed case, people just go to work anyway. So at the beginning, the transportation was pretty empty. Now it's just crowded again as before, and not a big impact on our life, I would say.
And next question is from Bea Honrado Rosal. Mandatory to wear masks in public places like in subway, in restaurants, and also there's actually a shortage of masks for some time. We can only purchase 2 masks once a week. It also depends on the end of your birth year. So for example, like I'm born in 1989, so there's only a specific day that I am allowed to buy. And as foreigners, we need to show our ID. But now, the government changed it. They allowed us to buy 10 pieces of masks once a week.
There are some people who actually bought a lot of masks before the pandemic, and they were actually reselling it. I'm not sure if it was even legal, but anyway. Technically, it was possible to buy some good mask in the subway, but it was very expensive. It was almost like $4 or $5 a piece.
Per piece.
And also in the Lotte Mart near to our home, they also sell masks. Actually, we just bought like 10 by 10 every time, and there was no problem, so it's a bit weird.
She asked this because she's actually curious if Koreans are jogging, are they wearing masks? Of course, they're wearing masks when they're jogging because they go to the public places like the park or the gym, so it's really mandatory to wear them. Okay, so our next question is from my sister, Jam. Here in Korea, most of the people work physically. They go to the office, they don't work remotely. So some companies, they have a rotation, so not everyone is allowed to go to work, but only some companies do this, not all companies here in Korea.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same thing everywhere in the world. The companies who actually require customer contact to make business, like restaurants, bars, gym, I think they suffered a lot. People were just not going there anymore. On the other side, the companies who don't require this kind of direct contact actually increased a lot of their sales. Companies, I guess, like Coupang, the food delivery application, and even internationally, it's the same thing for Amazon and all these kind of digital companies. They really got kind of boost from this pandemic. So here in Korea, it's the same thing.
Another question from my sister Jessie.
Nope.
Nope. But for those who are positive and for those who are in quarantine, they do give these kinds of support.
There was no city lockdown
In
in
Seoul.
Seoul.
Yeah.
There was in Daegu, but I think people were not even allowed to go out at all, actually. Right?
Yeah.
If we talk about, like, for example, a tourist who come in Korea and therefore has to do his quarantine, it's the same rules that apply. You just stay home, you don't do anything. Your GPS need to be on always, at all time, and if they lose your position for like a couple of minutes or hours, they will send someone and they will just do whatever they can to find you, and they will just bring you back to your home. They will come with all the scary medical stuff, you know, like nuclear catastrophe or this kind of thing. Actually, that's very important to respect this, because some foreigners already got kicked out the country because they were just not following the quarantine. So.
Yes, and someone also got imprisoned for
Yeah.
not following the safety measures to quarantine.
Yeah.
She asked this question because in the Philippines, restaurants, they don't allow people to dine in. You take it out or you deliver. Here in Korea, during the first wave of the virus, I'm pretty much sure that everything was still open. At that time, people were not going out because they're panicking and all this stuff, but all the establishments were still open during the first wave of the virus here in Korea.
Pretty much all the places now they have the sanitizer there. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing special in the establishments, except like if you go to shopping malls and all these kind of luxury places, there will be someone at the entrance like taking your temperature. Nothing drastic actually. So
I also saw some small restaurants, especially around our area. They're disinfecting their restaurants. They're cleaning everything, the floors, the chairs, even the spoon and fork and the chopsticks, everything inside the restaurant. Our next question is from my co-honorary reporter, Ate Lalien Gillian Park. I think it hit me when it was spreading in Daegu, because that was my second home. I used to live there for 4 years. At that time, I was scared. I was a little bit scared, panicking. Like I didn't hoard masks. I tried to buy them wherever it's available. That was it. What about you? Not really, I would answer.
we started hearing about this virus thing from December, I think, maybe January. So obviously it would be coming here. Since we hear about this every day, well, personally, there is no such thing as realizing it's happening. It's just always here, and yeah.
So like I've mentioned, during the first week, I was a bit scared and I was panicking because I am here in Korea and the virus is here in Korea. So I think it's normal to be scared. Yeah, that was my reaction.
The thing is, if you spend a lot of time online, all you will see is probably bad news anyway about the COVID. So at that time when people didn't really know what it was, and each government in different countries, they were all saying different stuff about it, it's really seemed chaotic at the beginning. You could see like some crazy video online about people fighting for toilet paper or this kind of thing. It's a bit weird. You're like, okay, what's going on? Why is everyone getting crazy? So yeah, it's a bit disturbing, but after a while the government really took care well of this, so it was just like a disease that was just like constantly present, but not like a huge event at the end.
So how did we cope with it? Our lives were normal, so you just have to accept it and take the safety precautions, listen to the government, always wash your hands, wear masks. It was easy to cope with it because we already know that Korea has high technology and advanced, improved technologies. So it was comforting to know this, and we were not really worried about Korea will not do well about handling this virus or contain this virus.
We didn't get sick. So that's the good thing. It reminds us that we are starting to live in a very fast changing world, I would say. So it's a good reminder that we have really big challenges to think about in the coming years.
I am very thankful for the time, because there are some times where my husband needs to stay at home. So I'm grateful that we have more time together, and also my family is safe because here in Korea, you know, the pali-pali system, so everything is fast here. And during the pandemic, you can see all the crowded places were actually empty, and you can see more of nature, more of the places, and it's really nice that people have the time to really take good care of themselves as well, and to not take advantage of our health, spending time with your family during these days, and for the life that God has given us. Yeah. now everything is normal, like people are going out and socializing, but I would say they're still practicing social distancing. But because these days, like, people are going out, it's hard to practice social distancing in public transportation.
Especially the subway. The beginning was very empty, so people were just driving their car. After a couple of weeks, it was just really crowded again, maybe even more crowded than before. Pretty much normal every day. Like Paula said, at the beginning, people were trying to avoid each other, staying home as much as possible. Now they are still trying to pay attention to this, but like if they gather, they will probably just meet 1 or 2 friends. Like they won't do like a group of 10 people meeting. And the problem is that it's summer here now, so I think people want to go out and enjoy the sun. Like you said before, it's slow, but it's still happening. So I mean, life continuing. Right?
Yeah. These are all the questions from our families and friends. And also, we would like to say that wherever you are, please stay safe and healthy. We will have better days ahead, and we will overcome this together. 함께 cookbook together. Thanks for watching. Bye!